G'day guys, and today we're going to review the game which is between Geelong and Richmond at the MCG, and I've got my good mate Langs here alongside me today, mate. Good to have you on the show.
Thanks,
and,
Thomas.
You had a bit of a watch of the game with the folks.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
the fam. So
A bit of a disappointing one, but
yes, how'd you see it all, and what are your thoughts and emotions about the way the game was played and how it all panned out? Tigers by 18 points.
yeah, well, I didn't really go into the game with any expectation or
Really?
thought that anything could happen. You always think that maybe if you play well, you can get up. But
Sounds a little bit like a first date.
oh wow,
Just you're not too sure on it, but
no. Well, I wasn't as confident as I would have been for that, but yeah, no. Look,
on a relevant note.
it's Richmond at the G, so they're pretty good. So I wasn't going in with any expectations, and yeah, the result that happened was pretty much the result I was expecting. Maybe not the way that it happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Geelong were good in parts and terrible in other parts, and they had some just key mistakes at key moments which really cost us, and Richmond just seemed to capitalise on all of them, and we didn't capitalise at all. So that's it.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
the review done. See ya.
Goodbye. Well, thanks for joining today.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so look, we got off to a good start. Obviously, that 4-goal first term, it looked like the Tigers they missed a few early. We really got on a bit of a roll,
Yeah.
and sort of got a bit of scoreboard pressure going. I don't know if there's a bit of wind, but it was certainly windy.
A bit wet.
Yeah,
out there.
very wet, very
Yeah.
wet,
Yeah.
and plenty of long sleeves going on. But then the Tigers hit back with 3 in a row, and they kept coming. And then you almost felt when they got out by a couple of goals, we were really
That's
clutching
it,
at the
yeah.
straws to sort of stay with them. And to our credit, we were good to stay with them for the most part, and sort of just broke away right at the end.
Yeah.
As I don't know if you expected or not, but look, if you saw my tips or preview to the game from the review last week, I expected Richmond to win by 4 or 5 goals. So I was still very disappointed. I'm salty as hell right at the minute.
That's
but
a strong word, Tyson.
yeah, salty,
Upset.
very unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, they were close, considering how bad they played in patches and the opportunities that we missed. To only lose by 18 isn't too
Yeah.
bad, but
It shows we can sort of match it with them.
yeah, we can. And I think we were sort of doomed from Thursday anyway with the selections, but we'll go into that later on.
Player review, yeah,
We'll
be
talk
intrigued
about the
to hear about
game in its entirity to start with. But
No,
I think we play them in 6 weeks. In 6
Yeah,
weeks'
it's
time,
pretty
we've got
soon.
a few more players coming back in. But the game today was, there was just some key mistakes. Really, you can't really put it down to anything else from players who we may or may not mention.
I'm excited, mate.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating because there was, on one hand, there was a group of players which were doing really well. Selwood was at his best, really. Like it's sort of like the 2013 to 15 Selwood, where it seemed like the whole game was on his shoulders, and he's trying to drag everyone up. And so there's Selwood and other players, and then on the other end of the spectrum, there was a group of players which barely got a touch all day, and for every good thing that Selwood was doing, they were doing a bad thing that, there might have been
Fair point.
2 or 3 more Richmond players on our side giving them goals. So
Would be good to delve into that in the player review, mate.
Yeah, sorry.
Look forward to who
it's
you
just
got.
a tasty little sample of what's going to come later.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a very tasty dish. But yeah, look, I guess the nuts and bolts of the game, it was a very tough, rugged affair. Tackles everywhere. Both sides were just neck and neck with the pressure they applied. We had some good ball movement, some good looks early, capitalised early, but then as the game went on, Richmond put down the clampers, and they were always going to. And just that setup. Dangerfield up forward didn't work. The way we were putting the ball inside 50 wasn't great after quarter time, so Richmond adjusted. It looked like they'd Rance back by himself, or Boston was the
it's
spare
hard
behind
to
the ball.
to kick goals when you've got literally a man in the goal square for 3/4 of the game.
Yeah.
No wonder he's such a good player. He just gets a free ball all the time.
Yeah, Coach Gillen.
But you're not allowed to say that though, because he's obviously all Australian this year. So
He's apparently the greatest defender of all time, I'm hearing.
it's easy when everyone just gives you the ball.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, I never played a man, but so look, we didn't capitalise. We weren't tough enough for long enough. The amount of goals Richmond get from the goal square in 10, 15 metres out it's a credit to the way and the speed and the skill they've got. It's frustrating because it looks like they get their goals so easy out the back, and we work so hard for ours. But that's all that's all on their end there. But
yeah,
just weren't quite good enough for long enough. Richmond had that extra gear to go. We were hanging thin, and that's how it all went, mate. And that was the game.
Yeah, credit to them. They played really well. They kept to their structures, and they didn't really lose the plot at any stage. So they were either breaking even with us or putting the foot down and tearing away.
Yeah.
Whereas we were just breaking even with them or falling behind. So it just felt like we were never going to get ahead.
Just behind the 8 ball, mate.
Yeah, in that first quarter when Gary kicked that really nice goal, I thought, hang on a sec, this is pretty good. They only kicked 1 goal 6 for the first quarter, or 1 goal 5, and I thought we'd just sort of be able to maintain the lead. We might be in with a chance, but then we just had that second quarter was just a big lapse, 3 goals to 1, and they were up by 7 or 9 points at half time, and it was that's pretty much it for the rest of the game. It just stayed at that margin, it felt like.
Definitely, mate.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the stats yet, but it's a positive in one way, but a negative in the result doesn't reflect the way we played. I saw at one stage we had 12% clearances to 3, so how we don't make them count, or compared to other sides and their ability to, more inside 50s, a touch over the contested possessions, but they just used it better. So
well, I think a lot of the time we were just bombing it in.
Here
you go, Alex Rance. Here's a ball for you.
Yeah.
Dylan Grimes. Here's a ball for you.
Vlauston. Here's a ball for you.
Oh, Vlauston was fantastic.
Yeah,
he was fantastic, and it was too late that they realised that. Oh, gee, he's dominating this game, and we need 11 marks. That's crazy.
It is.
I felt like we should have put either a defensive forward on Vlauston. We should have started one on Rance.
Would have been good, yeah.
And make them accountable, but that's fine. It's been a big day.
Yeah, it has been a big day.
But it was sort of a bit of too little, too late, and missed opportunity. So
hopefully better for the run and learn from it. We'll get into the votes anyway, guys. It's a long wrap up of the game, but mate,
keen for this.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see who you choose.
Thank you.
So you can go first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, you're the guest, mate.
I'm actually going to go Reece Stanley. 3 votes. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
I just felt it was really encouraging signs from him, considering I went into the game thinking Big Nag's just going to dominate him and throw him around everywhere, but he seemed to be winning a lot of the ruck battles and got a few free kicks out of the ruck, I think. He just seemed to do really well, took his marks, got his taps. I believe he got a goal. Yeah, he got a goal, I think the first goal.
Yeah, it was quite crucial.
It was probably one of his better games for Geelong, let alone in his career.
Happy with every player.
Second, I'll say Joel Selwood probably just missed out on first, because I think this was an out of the box game for Reece and probably deserved the best. But he was just probably a classic captain's game, was kicking goals when we needed them, and it was just really good around the ball. He did give away a couple of silly free kicks, which maybe dropped him down to second instead of
that's fair.
3 votes. But no, he did his job. And third, I'd probably say Menegola was reasonably consistent throughout the whole game. He had 9 tackles, and wish he would have gotten around the goals a bit more, because when he's kicking goals, we're normally winning. But
true that. Yeah, if he kicks a couple, it's hard to beat.
Yep, and that's it.
Very good. I've gone 3 for Joel Selwood, 29 touches, more kicks than handballs, which is good. We want to see him kick the football. 5 marks in there, got a few free kicks, gave a few away, 4 tackles, and kicked a few sausages. So that's quite good ones. Actually, I couldn't believe he kicked it from outside 50. I thought he was going to kick it 40.
That was the captain's goal.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Look, he's back to his best. Hopefully continues it, and just really led from the front. Went in hard all day, and he was a Goliath. David Goliath sort of set up.
Yeah,
I reckon. Yeah,
he was the only Goliath though at times, so it was
maybe
multiple Daves.
Maybe it was David going up against Richmond.
Goliath. I think I just got that backwards, but we'll move on.
That's all right. Yeah, cool, mate. I think we've had a big day. Reece Stanley was my second best player on the ground. 16 touches, 2 marks, 34 hitouts, got plenty of the ball, a few free kicks in there, mate, which was nice for him. 6 tackles, which is good. 1 goal as well. Statistically went pretty well, and I felt he had quite a presence around the ground, and the way he went about it, mate.
So I'm just going to scroll a bit.
That's fine. I've got the mouse there as well if you want to.
Yeah, it's on your side, so.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so I like the way he went about it. Stood strong, and it was good influence around the ground. The 1 vote to G. Ablett, 25 touches. I was umming and ahhing who to give the 1 vote to. 3 marks. Got a few free kicks in there, a couple of tackles, and a beautiful goal, which we really liked, and
I
knew he was going to kick it as soon as he got
Absolutely.
it. So, yeah, look, he started on a house on fire, but then sort of whether he got tagged, I didn't really look at him.
He just sort of
much.
went missing for like the whole sort of second quarter until like the last little bit.
Yeah,
that was good for when he got it, but
yeah, the way he started the game and when it was really hot was good. That's sort of why he gets my one, but yeah, I'm not really sold on anyone to get one vote, to be honest. So that's not a good testament to how the side played. And I'm interested, mate. Fantasy points and everything. And no one in Richmond over 100 points. That's
they were saying on the radio that that's Richmond's game plan. They're not. None of Richmond's players are averaging over 30 disposals this year. Dusty's, I think it was 25 actually. Okay. Dusty's right on that 25, but a lot of their players just average 20.
Yeah,
and it's just such an even spread. Whereas we have like Selwood, Dangerfield, Ablett, and then there's a gap.
Yeah,
and sometimes Duncan's up there, sometimes Kelly's up there.
Many goals sometimes.
Yeah, but it's just too much is left to too few. And we'll talk about it again in the player review,
which is coming up.
Oh, I'm excited for it. There's just a whole bunch of players that just didn't contribute. And
player review time, mate.
There's a nice little segue. Yeah.
Go into it, mate. You've got a few players in line, and I reckon I'll reiterate.
We lost this game purely on Thursday night when Zach Guthrie was brought into the team. He's not ready to play in this team. I really rated him in his first year. I thought he was good, especially in that final against Sydney. I think he beat Josh Kennedy in a one-on-one contest. And I've been talking about it for a year and a half.
You love that?
Yeah, he just... And I said it during the week, as soon as he got picked, I'm like, you watch him get pushed aside by Castagna, by Butler, and there was times where they were just running into open goals, and Guthrie's just sort of waddling behind. He hasn't got the experience, he hasn't got the work rate, he hasn't got the body to...
Speed.
He hasn't got anything, really. I mean, he can positionally put himself in right spots, but then he just gets pushed aside like a little boy.
Like he is.
It's not his fault. He's a young player, and he's learning, and he's turning into a better player, and he just should have not been selected. Plain and simple.
Fair call.
James Parson also cost us at critical moments, one in particular when he, for some reason, pretty much stopped in the goal square, decided to pick the ball up and then kick it through where he could have just socketed it through. I actually thought a free kick was paid almost, and he looked like he was picking it up and throwing it back to where the free kick was, but just cost us, and then spent the rest of the game chasing his own tail, trying to make up for his mistakes, and subsequently just making it worse by panicking and doing stupid things. So
I think he thought he had all the time in the world actually against one of the best tackling teams.
I would have liked to have seen Quinton Narkle or Jones stay in.
Jermaine.
JJ would have suffered that off the ground, so
he would have. Just a lot of players that didn't really sort of shine, and you talk about bottom sixes. I don't know if you put Castagna and Butler and those guys in the bottom six, but compare that to ours. McCarthy poor, Gregson really poor. Failed in a big moment.
Yeah,
he didn't have to get handballed to him, but even still, he got it. He slipped over, and then he got pinged. He just had to handball it or move it on or kick it, and he got pinged for holding the ball. That's poor. He had time to get rid of that. Guthrie was poor. Murdoch was poor. Henry didn't do a lot. Cole Jasny didn't see a lot of the ball. Fogarty was disappointing again in front of goal. Parsons wasn't very good. Parker was down a bit, and Buse was okay. But I'm saying this about a lot of players, and they're not household names, and you got to have everyone playing their role, and I just feel like they failed today, but with a bit more experience and hopefully a bit more zip. I don't really care about team selections most of the time because it's about the mindset. I felt like we had the mindset, but today I don't think we had the class and just that real finish and sort of structure to get the job done.
Well, it's hard when maybe our worst player last week might have been Buse, whether we agree with that or not. And then it's a sudden and quick drop off to being our worst player being Zach Guthrie. Like it's just such a big drop off from having a worst player be Jed Buse, who was a solid player last week. And then nothing. Kicked a nice goal.
Some 50.
So realistically, they should have been in. We know there's some players coming back after the bye, which is exciting, but
bring in Menzel, bring in Cockatoo. I'm sure there's others as well.
Well, I think immediately if we're doing a just straight in and out, I would like to see Zach Guthrie, Parsons, and
Gregson.
I want to say Gregson. I want to say Jack Henry as well. I think he's
Give him a bit of a break, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon he. Yeah. I think this is the first game where he's looked like he's just been pushed aside and just under the pump a bit. So Taylor back in to probably fill Henry's role. Scott Selwood in for Parsons. Just through the middle. Gregson. Or you can take your pick. You can have Narkle come in, or Constable, or Cam Guthrie can come in.
He's
for Zach. Yeah. So there's a few coming back.
Thurlow potentially is an emergency.
Well, that's another thing. Why if Thurlow's available for selection, why isn't he picked instead of Zach Guthrie? Tyson, can you tell me?
I've always wondered that myself, and I don't know the answer. Whether they don't think he can play the role that they think Guthrie can play. I think Guthrie has photos, to be honest.
Guthrie's role was to get pushed off the ball and give the ball to Richmond players. I didn't understand it. He didn't seem to be on a player or tagging, or I heard on the radio Matthew Scarlett said he was going to be playing on the wing, and I didn't see him on the wing at all. I just didn't understand it. But I felt like there was times where Zach was running onto the ball, there was a Richmond player coming the other way, and he just grabbed it, sort of, I've got the ball, and then got tackled, and Thurlow would have passed it off at least, and that probably would have saved us a couple of times.
He's not the guy you want in a high pressure final. But that's you've got to set yourself up from the start.
I'm not bashing Zach. I really like him, but he's just not ready.
Yeah, you got to know your limitations. I think, but good stuff, mate.
Sorry, I just had to get that all off my shoulders.
No, you're allowed to. So what have we got next? We can't lose next week because we've got the bye.
I don't know if Guthrie plays. We
hope you're watching at home, Zach. The week after we've got the Dogs at Etihad Stadium. I'll back us in to win that. Dogs aren't going.
I think this is the first time we played at Etihad this year.
Sounds about right.
Correct.
Yeah. Home games there. So I'll back us in to win by about 4 goals. But they're not that great. And
they're in a bit of a rut. But the only thing that worries me is our history after the bye, and Doggies haven't.
True. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, sorry. Doggies have an average losing margin of like 40 points in the last 4 games. So, like St Kilda, I just think they might be due to win one, and I just hope it's not against us. So,
we've got a good record against them, though.
Yeah, we do. We have the wood over them, but I don't know. Maybe we're just not playing at Etihad this year. We might just not be ready for it. So,
they
play Etihad pretty well.
I'll go in somewhat confident. But, they're far from the team that they were. But look, I haven't lost. The only thing I've lost today is just happiness.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying our season's over or anything.
No, it's not by any means, because there was definitely still some positives.
Can hold the head pretty high, and with the amount of players that were down, to lose by this, not the end of the world.
No.
If everyone played their best, we win by 2 goals.
Even if we just don't make those mistakes, we could have won. So.
Yeah, and the over handball I did not like in the wet conditions.
Just double down.
And I know you can't just bomb it long and high and straight to Rancy and Boston and stuff. But sometimes you just got to just lower the eyes, get a kick on the boot.
Yeah.
You're putting pressure on yourself by handballing. You're not putting the opposition under pressure by handballing most of the time.
You're just allowing them to pressure you more by over handballing.
So it's really smart to bring in the best pressure team in the competition, invite them to tackle you more by handballing in a wet game of football. Yeah. What are you thinking, guys?
Yeah.
Play to the conditions. Thank you, Lanes.
Yeah.
Carro's arrow style there, but guys, that's the review, and I've enjoyed having you on the show tonight, Lanks. And
first review from the new place, pretty good. Different sort of background.
With someone else, I did the North Melbourne one the other week. I'm sorry to break that news to you, but
that's fine.
Yeah, so I did the North Melbourne one last week. Yeah, all good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, cool. All right, thanks for hanging around, guys. Don't forget to subscribe away, like the video. And if you like photography and other random productions, give Langs a plug. Jake Langenegger Photography.
You leave the link in the description.
Yeah, I'll chuck the link in the description for you, mate. So if you can check that out, check it out. And I'll catch you guys all next time.